All right, welcome all. I think let's go ahead and get started. We are going to record, and if other folks join, they can catch up as we go along. So just wanted to say thank you all so much for joining. I'm Caroline Dwyer. I'm the chair of the Women in Planning Division, and I am super excited for our very first ever State of the Division report that we are going to provide today. So thanks so much for joining us, and let's get started. We have a lot to talk about. So I'm going to quickly go through just a little bit of division background for anyone who might not know, talk about what we do as a division, the benefits that we provide to members, talk a little bit about our WPD by the numbers, our membership, our growth, our potential for growth, and then we'll talk about things that were really great in 2023. There were a lot of them. I had to squeeze everything onto one slide and the text is really small, so apologies in advance. And then talk about some of the really exciting things that are coming up in 2024. So before I do that, though, I just wanted to introduce our executive committee. Again, I'm Caroline Dwyer. I am the chair of the Women in Planning Division. We have our vice chair, Kate Zanin, who is off on an epic adventure in the Southern Hemisphere. So she'll be back soon and will be in attendance for NPC. We have Gabby Harpel, our director of administration, Megan Booth, our director of chapter engagement, Bethany Bella, our director of communications, Margaret Wallace Brown, who does double duty, both as our director of finance and the chair of the city planning and management division, our director of funding and financial support, which is a new role being built out, Amy Elmore, our director of membership, Brittany Griffin, our director of programs, Caitlin Wentz, and our immediate past chair and ex officio board member, Corinne Wendell. So we are really excited to have this team, and I appreciate everything that all of these women do for our division. But first, just talking a little bit about some of the women who came before us. So the Women in Planning Division is one of the oldest divisions in APA. It was formed by and for women officially in 1979, but was organized and informally working on behalf of women in planning long before that. The mission of the division is to provide a national network supporting women in the planning profession and also advocating for the needs of women in planning practice. A lot of that has grown and evolved over the years, not just the needs of women in planning, but thinking about how we can plan better for women in our communities. And while a lot has changed over the 40 plus year history of this division, that core mission really is what holds us together and keeps things moving forward. So we do have several, when we're developing our work plan, we look back to our core values as a division. One big core value for us is parity, gender parity in the planning profession. So this would be things like equal pay and equal opportunities at all career levels for women in planning. Being an advocate for women in planning, so amplifying the needs of women in planning and advocating for change where change is needed, and being known as the voice for and the go-to resource for women in planning. Also focus quite a bit on our growth. We've had a really strong growth over the last 10 years, but it's really important to us that we're both attracting new members, bringing new folks into this division, and having that succession plan in place to carry the division forward into the future, and also making sure that we are providing benefits to our existing members. And then equity. Equity has, of course, been a huge topic of conversation and planning generally in the recent past and continues to be currently. But this has always been a core value of our division and a reason for the division's formation in the first place. And we pride ourselves on our ability to always be centering EDI elements, and where we see inequities, working to change that status quo and break down the barriers to participation in the planning process and participation in the planning practice. So We have a pretty amazing slate of programming, events, opportunities, resources that we provide to members of our division. This has been built up over a long time and continues to grow and evolve based on the needs of our members. But really, we sort of have 4 core focus areas. So we have professional development. So that's continuing education, networking opportunities, educational events, both in person or online, conference sessions. We have worked on developing some mentorship platforms, both informally, but also formally through programs like the Women in Planning mentorship programs, which we piloted several years ago and are working on putting something together in a more formal and long-term basis. And that is an opportunity for not just new planners, but women and any planners really at all phases in their career, both to expand their own knowledge and be a resource and just provide some of those collaborative learning opportunities. We offer a lot of scholarships and funding opportunities to our members. It is always one of our largest budget items in our work plan. We try really hard to make those opportunities as flexible and responsive as possible because we understand that the needs of women are different and diverse, and we want to make sure that we're not preventing people from accessing resources that they might need by putting artificial restrictions on them. And then resources. We have lots of resources. We have newsletters, research. We try to help facilitate service opportunities. We do member surveys. We've relaunched our virtual book club last year. We provide information on social media. And really just try to provide the things that our members need in order to succeed in their careers and lives. This is one of the things we're most proud of, I think, the growth in our membership. So, 10 years ago, this division had sort of been at a low point. It's hard to maintain something like this over 40 years. It's hard to always be searching for the next generation of leadership. We were lucky that some folks came on board who really were able to kind of inject some new energy and movement into this division and had some really great ideas for elevating the work of the division. And you can see that the growth has really been consistent. APA had a pilot several years ago with some free division memberships for students where we sort of peaked and evened out a little bit. But we've had pretty steady growth over the last 10 years. Right now we're hovering around 1,300 members. We have a goal of 4,000 members, which is really not that much when you consider 50% of the 37,000 plus members of the American Planning Association are women. So we think that there's a large pool of potential members out there who we hope to reach and bring into our circle. Our budget and work plan. This is one of the most important things that we do each year. And this really is the foundation of the programming and events and opportunities that we are able to provide to our members each year. We do take this seriously, and we work to ensure that the budget is both balanced and balanced, not just overall, but also internally, making sure that the distribution between the different categories of things that we fund each year makes sense. So this year, our annual budget is really split between some carryover from the previous year and making sure we have enough cash on hand to be solvent in the event of some unexpected interruption. Our programs and events are one of the largest categories in our budget. So that includes our networking events, our book club, our providing CM opportunities for our members, hosting webinars, getting folks to NPC to be able to present their research and experience to other members. And we also have opportunities for members to host local events. So we have some funding available that can be requested if you are someone who wants to start to host women in planning events in your community. Then we have our funding programs, which really are sort of the heart of a lot of what we do. We have several different categories of support that we provide. We provide AICP nomination support. We provide scholarships for AICP certification, for test prep, for the experience fees that are assessed to folks seeking certification. We have several cycles of diversity scholarships throughout the year. We have scholarships to send folks to the National Planning Conference. We have our brand new for this year Legacy Scholarship, which is an initiative started by Corinne, our immediate past chair. And this is a way for chairs of the division to continue giving back to the division, even if they're not actively participating in elected membership. So this is something we hope to grow over time, which is really exciting. And then we have support for Girls Who Plan, which is a collaboration with Youth Engagement Planning, or YEP. And this is an initiative to introduce more young women to planning in an effort to bring more women into planning and introduce them to different forms of governance and understanding how to participate in public processes more generally. We have some budget set aside for travel. Chairs of the division are required to attend some leadership events on an annual basis. So we do set aside some funding for that and other direct costs associated with attending those conferences. And then we have a lot of funding dedicated to communications to make sure that we can share all of the information about the things that we are doing with our members. So that covers like our newsletter, our Zoom subscription, and some graphic design and virtual meeting platforms and things like that. We also, of course, bring in some funding. So the bulk of our funding comes through dues that are paid by you all as members. We all pay them, and they are allocated to the divisions based on your membership and what you are paying. Some new members pay a little bit less in dues for that introductory period, but that's really where most of our funding comes from year over year. We do also have financial support from businesses or other organizations. I'll talk more about that in a little bit. But we do have some really awesome sponsorship opportunities that we've kind of revamped a little bit this year to hopefully provide some more benefit to organizations or individuals who might want to support the division. We also earn some revenue through things like ticket sales for our annual reception, which basically just goes back into the pot of funding that to support the cost of putting on that event. And then we have some miscellaneous sales of merchandise. Some folks make targeted donations for scholarships. We do receive some grants through other APA initiatives, such as the Divisions Council. I'll talk more about two of those actually in just a little bit. And then some programming fees for some different types of educational opportunities that we provide to APA members. So 2023 was an amazing year. So much happened. Sorry for the tiny text on this slide, but I really couldn't get rid of any of these things because they were all so great. And I want to really celebrate what we were able to accomplish in just 1 year. We had a net gain of about 400 members, non-student members. So those are all paying division members over the course of the entire fiscal year, which is huge and exciting. We were able to, through the volunteer contributions of our executive committee, establish a membership committee, which has brought you some really amazing things like our exciting newly refreshed book club, which has been meeting on a regular basis, and I think has already gone through 3 books so far. Yeah, currently reading The Color of Law, discussing that one, which I'm sure is a really compelling set of conversations. Also continuing to grow our communications committee. I was the director of communications for the division prior to taking on the role of chair, so I understand how intensive that role can be. Your newsletters, your social media, just communicating all of the amazing things that are going on. So our director of communications, Bethany, who actually was my social media committee when I was the director of communications, has done a really great job of bringing in some new folks to help her out with website and social media, and hopefully teeing up some of those members in the leadership pipeline to take on some larger roles in the future, which is a huge part of our succession planning. We had record attendance at our 2023 annual business meeting. I don't think we've ever had to go get more chairs twice for that. So that was really exciting. And I was so glad to see so many people there in person interested in the division and what we had planned for the coming year. We heard some really great things. We had an amazing 2023 Planners Day of Service last year, focused on planning for neurodivergence and thinking about how we can design and build our communities in a way that is more accommodating to folks who maybe have sensory challenges or experience the world differently than neuronormative folks do. Also at NPC, we had a really great slate of educational sessions. We had a mobile tour, Hidden History, which I think sold out 2 times. We had a learning lab focused on conflict resolution. We had panel sessions. We had opportunities that we presented in the Career Center. Just all kinds of stuff. We had a really great reception that we hosted in Philadelphia that we co-hosted with the City Planning and Management Division that brought so many folks together from 2 different divisions, which was really exciting. Women's History Month is coming up soon, next month or 2 months from now, March. So 2024, stay tuned for some great stuff for that. But last year we had several really amazing events. We had a panel session focused on leading with empathy. We had 2 students present their research on women in comprehensive plans. They were from Cornell University. So that was really interesting to hear about their methodology for their research and their findings. And then we had another networking session called Her Story, which really was an opportunity for women to share some of their own experiences, challenges in the workplace, and just kind of a really great opportunity to talk and gather and hold space for the experiences of others. We had some member features and spotlights throughout the month on social media. And that was just a whole month of programming that was really amazing. We awarded over $5,000 in division scholarships last year, which we will add on to this year. There will be even more. We're super excited. We actually sometimes offer so much in funding that we can't find enough people to take it. We do not have enough applicants. So please, when you see these opportunities, share them, because we really do want to give the money away, and we don't want to have to keep rolling it over. So please do share these opportunities because they are I think they really could make a difference for some folks. So, and we do want to award those scholarships. We facilitated an FAICP mentor roundtable for our FAICP nominees. In 2023, we also got some pretty exciting news that I saw just yesterday based on a report, I think that was put out in July of last year. The Women in Planning Division leads all other divisions in successful FAICP nominees. So I think that really speaks to the success of the program we put together to support nominees. This year, we were able to nominate 4 division members, and we supported the nominations of an additional 4 members who were nominated by their chapters. And we were able to do that by bringing them all together. So instead of, submitting and preparing these pretty intensive nomination packages alone and on their own, I think everyone really learned from each other. The mentors were able to share their expertise and spread that wider. And I thought it was a really, really exciting opportunity. And I am super excited to soon find out the results of the nomination process. Fingers crossed for all of those 8 women, who any of them would be an amazing nominee. I think all of them actually probably deserve a place in the College of Fellows. We also supported programs aligned with our mission, including Girls Who Plan, which I mentioned earlier, a collaboration with Youth Engagement Planning. I'll talk a little bit more about that again in just a few minutes. We continued advocating for gender parity in FAICP. This has been a huge push for us. Despite the growth in women in planning in the profession over the last several decades, there has not been a commensurate growth in women in this highest honor in the practice of planning. So we continue pushing really hard to elevate candidates who are more than qualified to be named as fellows, to try to catch up with the men representatives in the College of Fellows, to try and equal those out, so that the College of Fellows looks like the demographics of the planning profession. That holds even more true for women of color, who are even less represented in that organization or fellowship. So again, that is another really big focus area for us. And we are always interested in collaborating with divisions, other divisions, or with members and chapters to advance the nominations of women, and especially women of color, who we think really need to be better represented in that group. And then we spent a lot of time last year raising awareness of the need to examine some of the anti-harassment protections policies and procedures in our own professional organization, to ensure that everybody feels welcomed and safe at our events and in our practice, and that as planners who purport to want to provide and cultivate a more equitable community, are living up to those standards in everything that we do. I think we hold ourselves to high expectations, and that applies to our organization as well. And I'm really excited to see the progress that's been made. There was a brief update yesterday on the leadership orientation that was conducted by APA and the Divisions Council. And I was really excited to hear about some of the progress that's being made in that area. So I am really happy that, thinking back where we were a year ago and where we are now, I think that we've really made some substantive progress in that area that will hopefully mitigate what things that have happened in the past. So hopefully those will not be repeated. And I think we will all be better for it. And then just at the end of last year, we were able to provide our members with some information about some of the proposed changes to APA's bylaws that we hope was helpful in trying to sort of navigate what is kind of a dense and not very exciting set of procedures and policies, and break that down in a way that made it easier for very busy people like planners to respond and provide some feedback to APA. I think that again was part of an effective effort by a lot of different groups and organizations to advocate for providing for more ways and more time for members to participate in that process, which is what will be happening. So we're pretty excited about that too. And we will definitely stay on top of some of those, that issue, and let our members know what is happening in that arena. So that was last year, but looking ahead to this year, we have even more exciting things happening. So coming up probably, I think soonest is our Women's History Month. That'll be March 2024. We are super excited to be launching a research project. We received a product development grant from the Divisions Council that will be supporting a project called Untold Stories, Raising the Voice of Women Who Have Contributed to the Planning Profession. This is an oral history project that will be collecting the stories of women in planning, cataloging them, and storing them in a way that in a digital archive that is searchable and shareable, and will hopefully outlast all of us, so that we can capture some of the experiences and stories of the women who really, built this profession for those of us in planning now. We have $8,500 to award in scholarships, including that inaugural Chair Legacy Scholarship. So we are really excited to provide those opportunities to members. We are also providing some support for local events and programs. We have a form on our website that you can submit a request for funding. I think we have set aside about $750 currently. If there's a lot of interest, we can increase that next year if needed. But we do, again, we're trying to give it away. So if you have an idea for something that you want to do focused on women in planning, maybe at your chapter level, at your chapter conference, or even just in your region or community, let us know, and we want to be able to provide some support for that. We have a lot of really exciting things happening at NPC 24. It's only January and I'm already like super excited, like half packing my bags, getting ready to go, because it's really going to be great. Last year was super great, but I think this year is going to be even more amazing. For the second year, we're going to be hosting the Planners Day of Service, which is, I'm so pumped about this collaboration. So we are going to be supporting what's currently organized as a mobile session. And this is a mobile session that was organized by Youth Engagement Planning. And it is going to be focused on educating planners and participants at NPC how to more effectively engage youth in our planning processes. And then to put those new gained skills into practice, there's going to be an opportunity to work with some youth who will be on hand to celebrate the launch of the first ever city planning badge curriculum for the Girl Scouts of America. So that's like a huge, amazing event. I am so excited to be part of that and be planning that. So that is, we are still kind of finalizing some of the details and what that's going to look like, but that Planners Day of Service is also supported by a grant from the Divisions Council. That funding that's available, we're going to use to either reimburse or pay for the cost of registering for that mobile workshop, so that planners can register for that free of charge and participate in that event. So keep an eye out for information on that. It will be forthcoming, and it will also include how to participate more specifically than I can say right now, because we're still kind of ironing out those details. But that's going to be a really great event. There's also going to be involved or included in that some opportunities to put together some kits for some hygiene kits for unhoused folks, youth in shelters. We're going to be putting together some period packs to help or to donate to schools and shelters for girls and women who don't have access to some of those products. I just decided this morning that we're going to actually expand on that because there's a lot of folks who like to participate in Planners Day of Service, but who can't dedicate that time or aren't available. So I think we're going to do a whole end period poverty drive at NPC and put out a whole bunch of boxes for donations for people to pick up hygiene products for women that you can drop into those cardboard boxes, and we will get those to people who need them most. So it's going to be not just a day of service, but many days of service. So I'm excited about that. Our annual reception, which has been in the works for months now. So we're ahead of the game, which again is exciting. That's going to be on Sunday, April 14th, 6 to 9 p.m. Save the date, please. And that will be hosted at the Coven, a name that just fills me with joy when I think about it. And that is a really unique space. It is a shared workspace and event space that is focused on meeting the needs and serving the needs of folks who are trans or non-binary, people of color. Is a Black women-owned organization that gives back to the community. And it's a really cool event space, and it's going to be just like a super amazing event, and we can't wait to see you there. Again, more details forthcoming, so stay tuned. We have a whole bunch of educational sessions because I guess we're all there to learn too and get our CM credits. But that's going to be really great. And we have several sessions that we're presenting. We will have our annual business meeting. That's going to be on Monday, the 15th at the Minneapolis Central Library, which I'm really excited about because it's a beautiful building that I have looked at pictures online and can't wait to see it be in there. So join us for that, open to everyone, members, non-members. I actually ended up joining the division and nominating myself for a leadership role after attending a business meeting in New Orleans in 2018, I think. So this is a good opportunity if you're, thinking about maybe participating in a volunteer role in the division. This is a great opportunity to come out and see how the sausage is made. We also have a big launch that we're trying to push of our Women in Planning Division sponsor incentives program. I'll talk more about that in just a minute. We have several things coming up in 2024 that are sort of standing items, including our biannual member survey and our executive committee elections. All of our executive committee roles are up for re-election. So again, if you're thinking about something, let us know. We always do a little position shuffling, so we can see what is available, and we are always looking for people who want to participate in some way. There's a way for everyone to join in. So again, just NPC, this is kind of the snapshot of some of the things that will be coming up. So that Planners Day of Service, that's April 13th, 10:30 to 1:30. That's immediately after the opening keynote. Who I just saw today is Wynonna LaDuke, which I'm like amazed and can't wait for that keynote. You're like a environmental policy nerd, this is like, Christmas. And then, as I mentioned, that launch of the first ever national level Girl Scouts of America city planning badge curriculum with YEP. So I'm really excited for that. Our annual reception on Sunday, and then that annual business meeting on Monday. So it's going to be really busy and fun. And I can't wait to be there and do all these things. So our sponsorship program, I talked about this a little bit. We have a few opportunities focused more on NPC, and then we have a few that are, sort of more rolling, ongoing opportunities. This is a really great opportunity if you work for an organization. I know a lot of us work for public entities. I do, so I don't really have anywhere I can go to ask them to sponsor our division. And but like if you are an organization or work for one and you love promotion, like these are really great opportunities to get your organization name out there and get it in front of a lot of people on a regular basis. We have already sold out of our exclusive annual reception title sponsorship. Thank you, Stantec. Plug. This is the kind of service you can expect if you have a sponsorship with the Women in Planning Division. But we do have some other opportunities focused on NPC. We have a sponsorship for our annual meeting, sponsorship for some supporting sponsorships for our reception, merchandise sponsorships, and all of those have different benefits that come along with them, including tickets to those events, swag bags, your logo on everything we can put it on, and other things like that. And then we do have some rolling sponsorship opportunities throughout the year at different levels. So those primarily are focused on sponsorship of scholarships that we offer. So this would allow us to offer even more in scholarship funding, and you can name that scholarship. You can, celebrate it. You can call it whatever you want. You can, make it in memory of someone. So those are a few opportunities we have. We have sponsorship of webinars or networking events. And then there's other benefits at the various levels there. So that all of this information is in both our newsletter this month, but it's also on our website. If you go under, I think it's community outreach, then it's 2024 sponsorships. That's where you can find out more about this. You're welcome to email me or anyone on the committee if you have questions or want to know more information. But these NPC ones will probably be snapped up quick. So if you are interested, do let us know. I guess that's the end of my slides. So I'll open the floor to maybe any of my other executive committee members who are here, who might want to jump in and provide some more information about any of the efforts that or initiatives that we have coming up over the next year. And then I think we could probably just open it up for questions or comments or thoughts or things maybe you would like to see in 2024 that we might be able to provide. Brittany, you're the first one I see, so I'm going to pass it to you, and then maybe you want to pass it to someone else that you can see.
Yes, give me 1 second. Somebody messaged me and I'm responding to that message like a good
No
person.
problem.
Okay. So hi guys, Brittany Griffin. I've met actually quite a few of you through either texting or emails or some of just the things we've done via Zoom. So it's great to see everybody. So this year we are kicking back off the monthly coffee break sessions. We tested the toes of it last year. We did a few of them. It wasn't quite consistent because we were just kind of getting our feet underneath us and figuring out what worked and what didn't work. But the good thing is we're so far to the point of almost scheduled up through the year. On the calendar so far is Women in History Month. We'll be focusing on women for that coffee and conversations. We've got Transportation Planning Division for Bike Month in May. June is Pride Month, so we'll be working on that. And then we've got the Design Thinking Interest Group, if you're part of that, for April. We've also got book club if you're still interested in joining. We're only 3 chapters into Color of Law, so we've got 3 more meetings on that. One of those meetings being tonight at 8 p.m. if you are reading along with us. If you do attend those book clubs, you have the chance to win a copy of Just Action, which is the 2nd book in the series. And then the next book club kickoff will be in honor of Women's History Month for March, and we're reading Invisible Women, and I think it's Data Bias in a Male-Driven World. So we're pretty excited about that, and we'll also be giving away 4 copies of that book to people who attend the book club or some people who are at NPC. So we've got a good little lineup this year, and we're also hoping to grow membership. We grew it quite a bit last year. My goal when I started out was 100 people. I didn't think we would meet that because I've never been a membership director before, but we ended the year with 249 new members, almost 400 new and returning members combined. So our growth was much larger than I had even anticipated, and I'm hoping we can double all of that this year. Thank you.
Thanks, Brittany.
All right, I'll go next if that works. So Corinne Lindell, so immediate past chair of the Women in Planning Division. I just want to say hello to everybody and just thank you for attending. This is an amazing opportunity to just get a snapshot of what is happening in the division ahead of the business meeting. The business meeting can get into more details on each of the positions that we have for the executive committee and what they're up to and our work plan and budget. and all that fun stuff. I just want to mention and maybe just highlight some of the things that Caroline discussed in that I'll be helping with the YEP collaboration with Girls Who Plan. So please, if you are going to MPC, please sign up. It's on that Saturday, so the first day of the conference, 10:30 to 1:30, and we'll be putting together those hygiene kits. We'll also be doing children hospital kits, backpacks and supplies for kids. We'll have over 100 Girl Scouts there, rotating in different activities, doing the activities for the curriculum for the city planning badge that they'll be receiving that day. We will also have our children's book that we're coming out with, Ava Tanner, the city planner. We're going to do a debut of that. Each of the girls will get to go home with a copy of that book that YEP is publishing. So that will be really exciting. And then also with Women in Planning, we have Leading with Empathy session. And then also Caroline's leading, there's invisible work focused session that we're doing, which is really great. But throughout the entire year, if there are ideas that you have or you want to do something local, please reach out to us. We're happy to coordinate and get something together. I know the Women Planning Committee here in Minnesota, we're very active and like to do things throughout the year together, in addition to these opportunities that we get on over Zoom, through webinars, through the book club, the coffee chats, and then also at NPC. So and also, I just need to make a plug for FAICP. I'm so excited for all of our women that are about to hear in a couple of weeks that we have supported and lifted up and encouraged through this process. It is a heavy lift, and we're so proud of the diligent work that we've done and that we are a leading division in this space, and people seek us out to be their support during that process. And to our amazing mentors who are giving back once they receive FAICP, thank you all so much. We need our new professionals, our folks that are, mid-career like myself, and then our seasoned professionals to be all around, in what we do. So we need everybody from all aspects of your planning career. So we want to thank you for that. I will pass it. I think maybe I saw maybe Caitlin wins, or do I see you? Maybe provide an update if she's available. Or I saw Megan also.
Hi,
There's
everyone.
Kate. Oh, great. Okay. Thank you, Kate. On to you.
Yeah. Hi, Kate Wintz. I am the Director of Programs. Caroline gave a great overview of some of the things that are going on this year. Right now, the big effort is to finalize our schedule for Women's History Month and get those details out. So keep your eyes on your inbox for all of that information to come. And Brittany is doing so many great projects for programs with the book club and having these monthly coffee conversations. So we're just excited for all of the work that our executive board continues to do to put out good content for the rest of our membership. And again, if there's any ideas that you have or things that you'd like to see related to programming and content as we go into 2024, happy to take any of that input and help bring those programs to our membership. So thank y'all for being here today. Yeah, thanks. I don't think I see anybody else from the exec on here.
So I think Megan's on. Megan, I don't know if you wanted to hop on or not.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have anything more to add. I just really want to encourage, if you are part of another division, to reach out to your division leadership to have them contact me. We want to cross collaborate between divisions as much as we can. And that's kind of my role, is working on that. So that's all I have to say. Thanks.
All right. Thank you all so much. If folks have questions or thoughts, you can, I think, raise your hand, or it's probably the best way. Drop something in the chat if you want. That's fine too. If not, I might call on Chad to plug the Divisions Council.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yes.
Just real quick. Normally coffee break and book club do not fall on the same day. Just the thing, I think it's the way the calendar fell, because we took like a survey of the book club members. Hey, we know you guys have planning commission if you work in the field. What day can work this year? And a lot of people have planning commission on Mondays, so we chose Wednesday for the color of law. But it does line up, but not every month, I promise. So, and there are some questions in the chat.
That wasn't actually why I asked. I was just I realized like the wording of my question was vague. What I was actually asking was, do you plan it so that like every month it's on like the fourth Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern for the coffee and conversations, or does it occasionally vary?
Coffee and conversations this year, I've got it scheduled. It's the fourth Wednesday of the month. 3 p.m. Eastern Standard. We moved it up an hour just so we could accommodate we moved it back an hour just so we could accommodate the West Coast better. And I have a standing on my email for work. I have a standing Evite. If you're interested in jumping on that Evite, I'll throw my email in the chat and I can add you to that. But Coffee and Conversations, fourth Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Book club is every other Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And like I said, emails in the chat. So if you guys want to join, I can add you to those.
Thanks, Brittany. And I see that there's also a question about the mentoring program. So we are going to be pushing out some more info soon about that mentorship program. And we will communicate via our newsletter and on social media, like when the sign up is going to happen. If there's folks on here who are interested in being a mentor, we have a huge need. Last time when we did the pilot, we had over twice as many people, and that was like before we had to just shut down the application of mentees versus mentors. So I would say, this time around, I think we are going to also try to do a little bit of outreach and not training, but, a little bit of education on, what it means to be a mentor and how you can be a mentor at different stages of your career, right? It doesn't mean you have to be, close to retirement or retired or, some sort of like ancient and respected or member of your organization. You can mentors can be anyone really. Mentorship can look like two mentees working together. So we want to encourage people who maybe might not feel like they have the experience or legacy to be a mentor. When that call does go out, think about if there are ways you can participate as a mentor in different topic areas. We also might try to do some group stuff like we did for our AICP roundtable. So bringing, multiple mentors and mentees together to kind of share knowledge and exchange information. So we're trying to figure out how to make that work. So stay tuned. That will probably, maybe, I'm not sure yet, mid-year ish. So we're working on it. And if anybody is interested in volunteering to support the development and launch of a mentorship program, please let us know. We can always use some support there too. Yeah, you can totally be a mentee and a mentor at the same time. I love that idea. That's great. Definitely. I think that's exactly the sort of creativity and flexibility that we're looking for, because I think everyone's got a lot to offer. It depends who you're talking to and where you or how you're having this conversation. So that is a very cool idea that I think we can think more about as we're building out this program. There are other thoughts, questions, like things you might want to see? Are there topics for, maybe like webinars or networking events or anything like that thank you, Kate, for putting your email in there about the mentor program in the chat. Yeah, if you think of anything, I don't need to call on folks right now. But if there's things you think of later, you're like, oh, wow, I would love to see a session on this, or I have this idea for a speaker, or, if you have an idea for an event or a program too, let us know. Like we are happy to try to provide resources to build things like that out. And yeah, I don't think I have a whole lot more to say. I'm just really excited that I had this opportunity to be able to provide this information. I hope that this is something we can do every year moving forward. As Corinne said, as sort of a lead-in to our annual business meeting, where again we'll talk a little bit more about the development of our work plan and some of the programming that we're trying to get on the agenda for the coming year. So I think if there's nothing else, we can probably adjourn.
You
Brittany?
want Chad to give an update?
Oh, Chad, is he still on?
I saw it. Yeah, I saw his thing pop off. That's
Oh,
why.
great. Yes, please, Chad.
Yes.
Our division council's chair. Can you tell folks what divisions council is too?
I sure can.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Hear you and see you.
My last meeting was on Teams, and
Oh,
my
forget
computer
it.
microphone does
Uh-huh.
weird things, and so I never know whether it's working. So I appreciate that. Divisions Council is made up of the chairs of all 25 divisions. We do have 25 divisions now, and each chair is a member of the Divisions Council. And the Divisions Council really gets together to make recommendations to the board. We're kind of the planning, one sort of planning commission for the APA board that is providing information specific to the board as things that are important to divisions. Chapter President's Council also has their own group that does the same thing, and then the student group has their council as well. So there are 3 councils. Each of the chairs of those 3 has a seat on the APA board of directors. So we actually get a vote. I'm actually a member of the APA board of directors as chair of the divisions council. And so really my job is to elevate those items that are of concern to divisions to the board. I will tell you that is sometimes puts me in a somewhat of a difficult position, because as an APA board member, you have a loyalty to the board, but as the divisions council representative on that, I have a loyalty to divisions council, and they may not necessarily overlap. So that's really what that is. All of the leaders of divisions council, the divisions council executive committee, have been division chairs. So in order to be on the executive committee, you need to have been a chair, which means we've all been in that position of trying to manage and run a division and understand what the issues of divisions are. As you mentioned, Caroline, we had the proposed changes to the APA bylaws. Those were not, portions of those were adopted. The most controversial were not. There were a lot of things in there that were truly cleanup. That happens over time. There were some other more substantial issues. I actually sat on the committee that put those together and made the recommendations. So while there may have been some, I will tell you that I had very few concerns with the way they were presented and with what moved forward. That doesn't mean I don't understand all of the concerns that other people had. I had just spent 2 years going through the entire process and learning where we came from, where we were hoping to go, and how we were hoping to get there. So there's a lot of time and effort and volunteer time that went into those. And we'll go back and end up doing that again and maybe come up with something that works for everybody. Did I miss anything that you wanted me to talk about?
No, I think we talked a little bit about the funding that Divisions Council provides to the different divisions. And then I think, it's not for us necessarily, but Divisions Council also does provide a lot of support for some of the smaller divisions. So We are no longer one of those, but we used to be.
Right. We consider any division with less than 300 members a small division, and we provide additional support for those small divisions. We get our money from all of you. And that's one of the things that, you know, you come in as a division treasurer or a division chair, and okay, we got 1,000 members, we get $25 per member, we got $25,000. The math
Not
doesn't
so,
quite
right,
work
Chad?
that way. No, not at all. APA does take an assessment out of there for processing. They take $7.50 off of the top of every division membership. And then each division also gives $2.50 of that to the division's council. And that's what we use to fund the grants. That's what we use to manage the division's council. And to be quite honest, we take some of the money from those big divisions, that $250, and we give it to those small divisions so that they can make sure that they can participate. And yes, we're taking from the big ones and giving to the small ones, but most of the big ones don't see that as a major issue. So that's how that works. So you get basically $15 of the 25. There has not been an increase in dues for divisions in at least 25 years. I think going back to the late 1990s.
Wow.
So should we maybe look at that potentially? I do know that APA in general is looking at adding a single division membership to every APA membership. Just like you get you have a chapter membership, you would get a division membership, which we'll see how that plays out and what happens. But that is something that the board of directors told staff, we want you to explore and tell us what are the financial implications of this and how would this work, and figure it out for the next fiscal year. And the APA's fiscal year is October through September.
Thank you. Yeah, so Chad is super familiar with all of those dues numbers because I've just been picking his brain for the last
Yeah, I didn't do that
12
off the top
hours.
of my head.
We keyed you right up for that, though.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, so Divisions Council, you know, I think it's something that maybe a lot of folks don't know is sort of there in the background doing a lot of this work and providing a lot of support in different ways to APA members and divisions. So, you know, I think something we try to do is let our members know that is a body that exists, and that we do convene and have conversations about divisions sort of collectively. So that's a great opportunity. And
it's an opportunity to serve.
Yes.
And to serve the profession and your division and to serve nationally. And, you know, you meet a lot of great people and people that you wouldn't meet if you stayed just in your own little world.
Yeah, that's so true. Absolutely. I remember, you know, last year at NPC, Sherwin Racehorse was on my left, sadly
Yep.
no longer with us. So, but, you know, you really do get to connect with people and learn from all of the other division leaders, which is really great for us. And we at Women in Planning, if any of you are members of other divisions or groups, we are more than happy to share our resources. We try to do that on a regular basis, and, you know, no need to reinvent the wheel. I think planners know that better than many other professions, but building on what's come before you is important. So do reach out if there's things that we can help with. But yeah, I think that's all we got. So I think we're 1 minute before 4, which is just about our end time. So I think in an effort not to keep anyone any longer than necessary, just wanted to say thank you all again so much for joining us today and listening. if you think of anything later or have anything to add or questions or ideas, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us. We do have a collective email, women.apa@gmail. Or is that what it is? Oh my gosh, now I can't remember. And now I'm second guessing myself. Yes, Brittany's giving me a head nod. Okay. Moment of panic. And if you get a bounce back, you can email me at caroliness213@gmail.com, because that is certainly my number. But thank you all again. Yeah. And we hope to see many of you at NPC or connect with you otherwise. And I hope everyone has a really great rest of their Wednesday. Thanks so much. Bye all.